So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Nick Reese, the COO, co-founder of Agent Elite, and today we have a special guest to wrap up our Traffic is Key series with Deniese Ossey. Welcome. She is with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty. We appreciate you coming in today and getting to hang out and chat a little bit. So,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So today I just want to ask you just a few questions, just to kind of get to know you a little bit, and then two, as we have been going through this Traffic is Key series, I just kind of want to highlight and touch on some of the things that we've been talking about. Obviously, you've gotten to see a lot of the videos that we produced.
Yes.
And I know you've been in real estate a long time. So tell us just a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in, real estate, and, why you even got into this in the first place.
Thanks. I've actually been in real estate now. I'm on my 21st year. So it's been a very successful career. I've been very happy with it. I actually got into it originally got into it so I could be a mom more than anything. I was trying to find a career that I could do that would allow me some flexibility to have time with my kids, to be able to be the team mom, to be the Girl Scout leader, to do volunteer in their classrooms, and that's exactly what I did. And so I was able to manipulate my schedule, work with people, and take the time to be able to build a business, which actually just completely exploded and took off more than I expected it to.
Yeah.
So I was really blessed to actually have a really nice job to start with that turned into an amazing career, and it's been a good life.
So it's create a lot of financial freedom and just your ability to connect and
flexibility. It's kind of funny. You think you're going to have all this time, which you really don't. But I was able to manipulate, like I said, the schedule to be able to do the things that were important to me in my life, and that was take care of my kids. And so when they were young, I took them to school every day. I picked them up every day. I had time for homework with them every day, and still was able to run a business. So it was a really good thing.
So question for you is, for a lot of the agents that are out there, right, especially the seasoned agents and the ones that are just typically getting into the industry, into the market, what were some of the challenges, or what were some of the things that you had to do in your first several years of real estate? What were some things that you faced in regards to nurturing your sphere of influence or connecting, with your current, like at some point there's a starting point, right? And I think a lot of agents, they think that we can just get my license, we can get into real estate,
sell a couple houses,
sell some homes, and life's going to be great.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than just that. So
that's the easy part, actually. So the key to this is obviously you're in sales. I mean, if you're going to be in sales, what other business is better than this? Yeah. But it's more than just that, because the truth is this whole business is about relationships. And so whether you meet them at an open house, whether you meet them online, an internet lead, through your sphere of influence, all of those are in some form of way that you've met someone, and now you've got to earn their trust and their respect and show them what you can do for them. And then even after you've met them and you've worked with them and you've actually sold a house, I still don't go away. So part of the way that I work has been taking care of them before, after, and during. It's a lifelong thing. So I have clients from 20 years ago that I'm still working with, because now I'm selling them their kids' homes, and so it's a generational thing. So for me, it's been important to be consistent. And follow up, do what you say you're going to do. I mean, my tagline is consider it done. Okay. Because if somebody's going to call me and ask me for something, or a referral for something, or I will follow up with them, I will get back to them. And so, in this industry and what you do, your name is everything, and it's your reputation. So it's important that you follow up, but consistency is key.
Yeah. I've been in the industry a long time, right? 15 years. And even in that 15 years, the market has changed dramatically in regards to how agents go about marketing and staying in front of their sphere, right? Or just their clientele base. And, relationships are really, huge to you, because you've developed those over the years. But as you've seen the market change, from that old school way of marketing to really, social media, Twitter, Facebook, things of that nature, has that helped you and your ability to kind of stay connected, with your sphere of influence?
Yes, it adds to it. So it's one more way that it's to help me stay in touch with them and stay a part of their lives. So this whole social media thing, I think I do a lot more posting personally than I do business-wise.
Yeah.
I feel like this day and age, people are flooded with, information, but no, they're not receiving, learning, getting knowledge from it.
Yeah.
So a lot of information, no knowledge, but I'm trying to provide more knowledge. But I want them to know me, that I'm a real person too.
Yeah.
And then a reminder of, hey, I'm here if you need me. And so it's just been, I love getting to know the people, honestly, and Facebook and Instagram and seeing their stories. It's helped me give a reason to call and to follow up and, stay a part of their life.
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of agents, right? Well, you have all these different companies coming in and doing, hey, you got to have this business page. And while the business page is important, I think a lot of agents get so caught up in the business page, and what they don't understand is that, they only have 20 or 30 or 40 followers or likes, and so they kind of limit their demographic or their target audience, because they feel like if I'm on my personal page, I can't talk about business. Right. So I'm gonna go and try to market on this business page, and then there's like so many different avenues that they're trying to focus on. When all reality, right? It's about not just selling a home, but it's about building long-term relationships, right? And becoming friends with your clients and
you're earning their trust, them, right? and that's just it. Is I love to hear their stories. I like to know why people are moving. I like to know why they chose this neighborhood. I like to know why they chose their job. I mean, I have a sincere interest in getting to know them and their family, and so it helps me understand what their why is. Yeah. And so once I understand their why, once we get in the middle of the transaction, and if things get a little crazy on what we're trying to do, sometimes it's good for me to be able to come back and say, remember our why, remember your why. And so to remind them of why we're doing this, because sometimes, it's a very emotional journey, as you know, one of the most stressful things they can do. And so I just have to bring them back to their why. So me knowing their story, getting to know them helps me be able to complete and close what we're trying to do. Yeah. So in regards to like just different marketing techniques and things that you're doing, I mean, there's one way to really kind of market and target your sphere, which is, your most important, right? That's your book of business, so to speak. And you want to make sure that we're able to stay in front of that book of business, for years to come. But what are some other, what are maybe some of the most effective marketing techniques that you utilize in addition to just being in front of your sphere? Like how are you going about, getting in front of new clients, new potential buyers and sellers? Well, a couple ways. One, because I stay in contact with my database and my clients and my friends, is that I do ask for the referrals. I mean, you have to ask. So that was a big way for me to get to know other people, because they already know me, like me, and trust me. So getting a referral from them is, top of my priority, because I also know that, they understand how well we work together, so they know that they're in good hands when they send the referral to me. So more than 88% of my business is all repeated referral. And then from there, I've met people at open houses that I've done transactions with, as well as on the internet. So I get a good amount of internet leads from the website. Thank you very much. Yeah. And that's been a good way for me to keep in contact. But again, it's being consistent. Those internet leads aren't necessarily an instant buy or an instant list. Those people have to be nurtured. They have to be followed up with, and it's important. And you have to do it right away. There's no waiting on that. When those leads come in, I have to be on it. I have to show them that, they're important. Yeah. And there's so many different places that they can go for information that I want to make sure I'm at the top of my game, and I'm getting back to them right away, and that they're getting what they need.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's right. Well, the key series is traffic is key, but it's all about exposure. And I think the challenge with most real estate agents nowadays is they all want this instant gratification, right? They feel like if I spend money for this lead, it should just be pre-qualified, ready to go. And, and then they forget so much as to what their job really entails, right? That they think 80% of their job is just to sell a house, when really 80% of your job is to network. It's to, get involved within your community, right? Local events, neighborhood, church. I even see agents doing, holding garage sales, community garage sales, just to kind of get their name out there.
Well, it's everything. Again, it's building those relationships. Yeah. So whether you're building them on a client, platform, or you're building it with business platform, or within your community for volunteering, it's at every angle. Yeah. I mean, you're kind of always on, whether you want to be or not. So they're basically interviewing you whether you want to be interviewed or not.
Yeah.
It's what you say, it's what you do, it's how you carry yourself, it's all of that. I mean, you can't even just go to Target, you know what I mean? People are watching all the time, and they see you on the internet, they see you on Facebook, they see you on Instagram, and they may not give you all the likes, but they're still watching.
Yeah, and that's important. So let's talk just a little bit about online leads, right? It's a topic that is so relevant in today's market, right?
Yes.
Because again, 15 years ago, you know, Zillow and Trillium weren't even around, right? When I started. And so to see, you know, how fast, you know, real estate marketing and how this industry has developed in just 15 years is crazy, right? But let's talk just a little bit about online leads. You know, what are just some different ways that you nurture those or handle those? Is there a certain approach that you take, you know, with your online leads, people that necessarily don't know you, versus you know, someone that you meet in an open house or just at a coffee shop or something like that? Right?
I don't know. I think the online lead is so generic to start with. It's just kind of getting a feel for what they want or what they like. Trying to find a property. Maybe they found one that they originally, you know, inquired about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not available anymore. So trying to find a like property like that, just to at least get them started that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, and that they might see the value in that. So, you know, that's one thing. If it's somebody that I already know and it's been referred to me, I like to do just a kind of a meet and greet and get to know them, and again, ask their why and what they're looking for so that I can be better prepared in the way that I help them. And so there's a time in which we do that for the online lead. But to begin with, you're still trying to earn their trust. You're still just somebody on the other side of the computer. And so you don't know how many other agents they're talking to or what have you. So it's just trying to figure out a way, like I said, to get back to them in a timely manner, try and send them something that of value so that they will come back.
Okay.
You know, so it's literally just following up without spamming them. I mean, I don't want to spam them, and a CRM is important, but I think it has to be managed well as well.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I'm sure you've had multiple CRMs, right?
Yes.
And I believe we did a video on just CRMs. There's certain ones that, you know, I like. They're just more personal preference. But in regards to just an overall CRM, what are some things that are important to you? Because nowadays there's just so many tools, right? And a lot of the tools most agents aren't going to use. But in regards to the CRM, which one do you use, and you know, what's important to you, you know, and what do you use the most?
Well, I'm really limited on the CRM that I use. So like, I think the one I have now is Lion Desk is what I've been using. And that's actually been good. It's got some really nice features with it too, and even including text messaging, which has been real convenient for, you know, new listings. So that's been great. But I have a whole separate CRM just for my own personal database that I use that are of my, you know, clients that I'm doing business with, have done business with. And so I actually have two different CRMs.
Okay. Is that easy for you to manage both of those?
It is, because they're completely different platforms. So the one that I use for my own database, I don't have any automatic emails that go out or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the online ones I do, just because, again, you're just trying to you know, find a way to follow up when they don't know you yet and earn their trust.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, that's good to know. And, you know, Lion Desk is definitely one of the CRMs that, you know, has really kind of blown up this year, or even over the past couple years. It's just went from, you know, 0 to 100, right? And I don't even know how many agents they have, but it's definitely a good CRM. Let's talk just a little bit about your website, right?
Yes.
I mean, obviously you've had several different websites. You know, most brokerages provide, you know, more or less a web page for their agent. But I'm not even concerned about the website you have with Agent Elite. Let's talk websites in general, like the difference between, you know, what your brokerage provides and why, you know, agents who've been in the business as long as you have been, why, you know, having your own website, your own marketing is important. Because again, you've obviously in the 19 years that you've been in real estate have changed brokerages, 21, sorry. Jeez. So you've been in a long time, right? And you know, I feel like nowadays, you know, most brokerages are trying to be so controlling in regards to the products and the tools that they're providing to their agent. But really, is that in the best interest of the agent? Or is it in the best interest of the brokerage, right?
Well, there's a lot of competition right now, and you have everything from, you know, how do I say this? You have everything from the discount brokerages to the cream of the crop, which is where I work.
Yeah.
And the truth is that different brokerages at different levels provide different needs. And every agent, every personality, I guess I'll say, how do I say this? They'll have a different need. So I think it just depends on you individually.
Okay.
So, even the company I worked with previously did a lot for us. And you're not required to use any of their stuff, if you will.
Yeah.
But they do a really nice job. And I think it's important to know that it's really difficult for me to go create a product that I'm up against some billion-dollar companies.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I like having my own page. I like having my own identity, if you will.
Yeah.
And because, sometimes you can get looped in with the rest. But I'm not complaining about where I'm getting looped in. I'm with some amazing agents, so I'll be honest with you. But I needed my own identity. And again, I've been down it for so long. I've had my website name for so long that it just carries with me.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I felt like it was just something they could always go back to. So,
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, the website that you have with us.
Yes.
What's just the overall experience that you've had, not only, with the website itself, but let's talk a little bit about, the customer support, and the team behind that, and making sure that, are they providing you with that education, with that training? Are they providing you with the tools necessary to, help position you, right?
Absolutely, or I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
No, I've been really happy with it. Honestly, in all the years that I've had websites and different hosts and different, sites, this has truly been the best.
Awesome.
So the consistency with the leads that come in, honestly, the look and feel of it, all of it's been really good for me. I've been really happy with it.
So, when working with other realtors, what's one of the biggest struggles that you come across? I know we just kind of flipped the script and went a different direction,
yes.
but I'm just a little curious.
Returning my call? I don't know. Picking up the phone?
It's like, all the agents want to make money.
Yes.
But their ability just to follow up, even on the agent end, is lacking. So if it's lacking on the agent end, it's got to be lacking on the clientele end. And then,
right.
A lot of agents are trying to figure out, well, I called that lead one time.
Oh, no, you've got to call, a good 6 to 12 times.
Yeah,
follow-up is a key. And it can be, what's funny is like you sit here and this is what you do on a daily basis and it's part of your job and you follow up with people and they don't get back to you right away. And it's really easy to go to a dark place and think that they don't want to hear from you. But the truth is people are busy too.
Yeah.
And so if they don't want to hear from you, you're going to know. But people are busy. They have a lot of things going on in their life, and this may have just been one thing that they quickly saw, and then they had to go back to work or what have you. And so I think it's just important that you follow up again and say, hey, I'm still here.
So let me ask you this. Do you get a better response via phone, like dialing out, or text message or email? And is there a process that you take, when an online lead comes through? Is there like a system or a format that you're using? So obviously email first and then a text message. Do you get a better response via text or?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
So everybody wants to be communicated with differently, and I think it's important that you try and establish that sooner rather than later, so that you're meeting their needs. But because they hit it online, I usually email them first.
Okay.
But I don't wait very long. I usually follow up immediately with a phone call.
Okay.
And if I leave a message, then I send a text. And I'll do all three.
Okay.
And I do all three, like literally one right on top of the other to go back. Because, again, sometimes, people are at work. They're not supposed to be on there. And they get a text and they're like, oh, I can at least text back. Yeah. Or they can answer the email that comes up or the phone call in case they're home or they're driving or what have you. So it's just a matter of them seeing that I'm on it. I'm following that.
You're giving them several different avenues. So if they don't feel comfortable with making that phone call, they can at least text back.
And I give the option of whatever they want to do, what's easiest for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So one last thing that I have for you is, real estate's really, it's a competitive market, right?
Yes.
And I mean, are there some key factors that have really helped you stand out above, all the other agents?
Being consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. And that's
Is it consistent with marketing, with how you follow up?
With your marketing, your follow-up, you're doing what you say you're going to do. It's with the agents. It's with the way you run your everything. I think it's I think it's important to be consistent with everything.
Yeah.
I think it's easier for me to run my business being consistent as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is one where, you don't punch a time clock. Your days can be long or they can be short. It really depends. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Trust me. But I think just being consistent on what you're doing will win the day.
Yeah. So 19 years, 21 years, I'm getting this, 21 years and counting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And in that 21 years,
Yes.
you're making money.
Yeah,
right?
just so you know, I close about 50 houses a year.
50 houses a year.
I don't mess around.
Yeah.
Like I really am. I'm consistent, and that is something that I look. My goal every year is to do 52, but so I'm on pace to do 50 this year.
Look at Denise, 50 transactions, and you're located out of what's your
San Diego's East County.
San Diego East County.
Yes.
I mean that's pretty amazing. Based on all the transactions that come through, let's talk about just my last question, really, that I want to hone in on, because this is a topic that we run into a lot, and that's agents reinvesting some of their money earned back into their marketing. I mean, you haven't made it 21 years, 50 transactions because you're spending $0. You're only working just that sphere.
No.
I mean, no matter what, right? When the market's great, you market, and when the market's down, you
still
market, right?
Yeah, that doesn't go away.
Are you reinvesting? Is there like a standard, like 10%, 15% of the money on every closing that you're reinvesting back into your marketing? And then what else are you doing in regards to just marketing your sphere and then your website, right? What are you doing to create those funnels? Or are you doing property cards, you doing postcards, you do flyers?
I still mail. The post office loves me because I still buy a ton of stamps.
Yeah.
So I do a consistent mailing once a month at least, and it's to 176 families. That's what I mail to.
Okay.
And that's just my normal piece that I send out, my item of value. And then I still do postcards for just listed and just sold postcards, in addition to the social media posts, things on the, what are you going to say, on the website, any of that kind of. So yeah, I do the e-blasts. So I've got a little bit of everything going on. And reinvesting, I think I'm somewhere between 12 and 15%
of what you bring in, you reinvest that back into marketing. Yeah, which is,
you got to feed the golden goose.
Yeah, right. I mean, again, your sphere is only so big, and in real estate, your goal is to continue to grow that sphere, right?
Well, and even after 20 years, there's no
21 years.
Yeah, after 20. But I was saying that even doing this, it's not like you sit back and it still comes in. The market's continually changing.
Yeah.
New companies come in to disrupt the market.
Yep.
And so you still need to stay top of your game.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you just need to be in front of them any way you can to remind them of your value. Awesome. So, and I think it's important that you do that. And again, depending on how people want to be communicated with and where they see you, I think it's just important that you have the consistency. So again, the follow up on those leads when they come in, whether it be from your sphere of influence or from grandma or, from the mailer you sent out or from the internet lead. And it's just again, being consistent across all platforms.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love about, what I hear you saying is it's always being on top of mind. And which is why, if you're going to be doing those mailers, it's doing it every month, because it's just even in my neighborhood, there's 2 or 3 agents, and I won't name names, but I feel like I know them, even though I don't know them, just because they're always on top of mind, right? It's every month they're consistent with their mailers. Now, I don't necessarily read the mailers, but I see it, and it's just their name. I know them first, last name basis, and that's I think what you've done so well, right, out in East County, just San Diego, is just really being the expert in that community and being consistent in regards to all the marketing that you're doing.
Well, and there's people that'll spend a lot more money on marketing, and they'll do some massive pieces, and I don't necessarily operate that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do them, but my focus has really been for me to support those clients, their properties, and it's not necessarily about me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like that obviously to follow up,
yeah.
But when you make it about them, it'll come back. So like I said, just being consistent, you're always being interviewed whether you want to be or not. Yeah. So, And so you know the names now because they come in. So right before you hit the circular file, you saw the name again. So it's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to go list right now, there would be 3 agents that I would interview just right off the top of my head. And that's I mean, even as big as my sphere is, right? I know so many agents and friends that are agents, but, realistically, do I just want to list with a friend just because it's a friend, or do I want to list with somebody who is dominating that neighborhood, right? That knows the right price to list the house for, that knows how to get it done. And even though I have friends that are in this industry, I'm still the ones that are top of mind.
Well, everybody knows someone with a license, right?
Yep. Yep.
But again, you're trying to prove your value.
Exactly.
And so you've got to figure out a way to set yourself apart. I mean, they can get this information about a house anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the no-brainer.
Yeah.
But we're trying to be the one because I feel that they still need us. They still need the, person to talk to about this and the what ifs and what about the neighborhood, and the knowledge is important. And so that's where we bring our value.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think that just wraps it up for our Traffic is Key series. Denise, we appreciate you coming down, sitting in that hour of traffic, to drive 5 miles, right? Again, this is Deniese Ossey with Pacific Sotheby International Realty, and she, if you're in the San Diego area, she's definitely someone you want to reach out to. She knows her stuff, and we see the numbers that you're putting up, and we see what your website is doing, and we're excited to have you a part of the Agent Elite family, and we're looking forward to many more years
and be doing more business.
All right.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.